85% of people prefer text over email and phone calls because they want to engage in a conversation. All text messaging is not equal. Customers respond to people, not bots. Be more like people and start having conversations that end in conversions. Use Scipio.
We're recording, so we can shoot
jam?
the shiz.
Oh, love it.
Maybe what if we do an acapella one? Like you know how like in the intro of like Pitch Perfect, instead of like the Paramount,
Yes. Yes,
like
just like Pitch Perfect.
Exactly like Pitch Perfect.
Love it. I'm sure listeners won't mind at all.
I was trying to write a tweet the other day and I couldn't quite nail it, but it was something to the effect of, I wish I had the confidence that like YouTube acapella singers have about just everything. They just seem like the most confident people in the world.
Yeah. I sing acapella a lot.
But like the ones with like the groups with like the guys doing the drums, the whole thing is just like a lot.
How do you manifest that?
Yeah, channel that energy. Because I don't really love acapella. Sorry.
Maybe we should start an acapella group.
You think so?
Well, I mean, that would probably be the closest we could get to manifesting acapella energy, I think.
Yeah, it's more just like, but not being ashamed, because like I guess it's because I don't love acapella music. I'm like, man, you're so proud of this music that I just think is so okay.
Really? That is such a negative outlook.
It's like fun.
Acapella music, it's like a masterpiece. Your body is the instrument.
I guess I don't mind acapella that's like, it's just a couple people singing in harmony or whatever. Like that's fine. It's really the pentatonics, where it's like you don't need to have an artificial drum set in your mouth. Like you could just add drums and it would sound fine,
but then it wouldn't be acapella.
Yeah.
I will say it's not like I listen to full albums of acapella music. I enjoy a little acapella bop from time to time.
Little bop from here and there.
I also don't listen to a lot of music. I'm sure I've said this on the podcast, but like I don't really listen to music. It's very odd.
So when I know you don't commute right now or haven't some time, what did you listen to when you commuted?
Audiobooks, podcasts, but never really music.
I got a notification on my phone that was from Audible. It was like, hey, you have 5 credits you haven't redeemed.
You have no idea. I use Audible a lot. I feel like I buy a lot of books and I have 12 credits right now.
Yeah. Ugh, I watched I told you I watched Shadow and Bone. I'm going to try and give the books a listen. I think it might be fun.
Maybe we could do that together. Maybe we could have a little Shadow and Bone.
That'd be kind of fun.
I haven't watched the show, but I am definitely interested in trying a new book.
Yeah.
Maybe we could get our little friend group, like a little Shadow and Bone listen. Because other people I know in that group are listening to Shadow or are watching Shadow and Bone as well.
Yeah, we should do a little book club.
Let's make that happen. That'll be fun. And I think people would. It seems like it's a series people could give it a try, right?
Yeah. Thieves, start a book club. That's the takeaway.
Thieves, if you have it sounds like Scott has some Audible credits. I have a lot of Audible credits. If you have a book that you think that we should listen to based on what you've heard on the show, send it in. idea@ghostofthecityidea.com.
That's right. Let's start a podcast.
I only lied about being a thief.
Steal, lie. I can't even remember the other quotes for now.
I can't either.
We're going to steal the Declaration of Independence. Steal this idea. Hello again, thieves.
We're back.
If you like that acapella episode,
we will do it every week if you like it.
The device we use to play our audio, for some reason, it's not pushing through. So we're doing an acapella one this week.
We're doing it live.
Welcome, thieves, to the Steal This Idea podcast, where almost every week, me and Andre, Scott Knudsen, Andre Washington, we give out $1 million business ideas for you, the thieves, to steal. These can be apps, books, these can be software, they can be storefronts, and everything in between. This is, I think, episode 91. So we're almost at episode 100. We should probably have a party or something.
We should have a big like special compilation podcast for number
Yeah.
100 or something.
Maybe I could pay somebody
Or-
on Fiverr to like edit the best of.
We could do like a Steal This Idea retrospective.
Yeah.
Because we've often talked about how we want to go back and highlight a bunch of our previous really good ideas. So maybe for episode 100, we each come with like 3 of our best ideas from the first 100 episodes or something like that.
Yeah.
More to come.
We could talk about Sky Rangers. We could talk about
Sky Rangers, which is a good one.
some of the ones that I sometimes think about, like Spooky Puffer Pants, that episode. Just like,
Spooky Puffer Pants. Spooky Puffer Pants is so notable only because it has like one of the best episode names that we ever had.
And it's the most simple idea that, exists. If you don't know what it is, go check out the episode Spooky Puffer Pants.
Or wait 9 more episodes.
for the recap.
It'll be highlighted on the episode. Whichever you want.
Well, we got a good show, Thebes. Andre's got a good workshop that's a little more fleshed out. I have a workshop as well. We're going to bring those to greatness. We're gonna do it funky. We're gonna do it fresh. It's gonna be a fun episode. Before we do that, let's hop into a little good idea, bad idea.
All right, Scott. Welcome to Good Idea, Bad Idea, the segment of the show where Scott and I go through our Instagram, our Facebook, our everything feeds, and we bring to the show a couple of the ads that we've seen, and we want to answer the question, is this a good idea or a bad idea?
That's right.
Scott, I have a bunch.
Good.
And I sent them all in because you can decide which ones you think we should talk about.
Bumruck?
Yes. So let's start with Bumruck because this is a good one. BUMRUK.com. Bumruck is the most comfortable backpack you ever sat in. And what Bumruck is a beach backpack that folds out to make a little beach seat. This is a good idea.
I'm actually really pissed off about this because I have it on my idea backlog. I have an idea that is so similar to this.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, they beat you to it. It is a sand-wicking weatherproof polymer bag that essentially the back folds down and you can sit on it so that you don't get too sandy when you're at the beach. It has a little compartment to hold your towel, and then it has just enough backpack space for your sunscreen, your snacks, your whatever.
Yeah, this is a very good idea. I wouldn't say that I'm like enamored with the look of the bag. I think they could, like, it's a lot of.
It's expensive. Oh my gosh! So on Indiegogo, it is $159.
Oh wow!
And that's like for the super early bird version, and that doesn't even ship until August. So you're really getting it right at the end of summer.
Yeah. The material is like the only material I can think of that's the same material. It's like a koozie, like it's like a. That's not.
I mean, that's kind of what it has to be made out of for it to be kind of weatherproof. Yeah. But it doesn't look premium enough to be a $200 backpack. To me.
No, exactly. That's. I will package my version of Bumruck. Maybe we'll pitch it next week. Because I have a better version of this, I think.
Really? Cool. That could be a great.
This is not bad.
Splash episode.
Yeah.
Bumruck.com. Thieves, give it a look. For $169, you can support them at Indiegogo and get it in August.
I have one here for you, Andre. This is less of the idea itself because it's pretty straightforward, but more just a quick discussion talking point. Which is this is a vinylmoon.co. So this is a vinyl subscription service. Where do you sit on vinyl as a medium?
I think vinyl's cool. I don't, like I said earlier in this show, I don't really listen to music, so I'm certainly not listening to vinyl. But I think vinyl's cool. I like that it's kind of coming back. I think that vinyl players are a nice set piece for a kind of contemporary living room.
Sure.
I'm a little bit confused about what this service is, but the website's cool.
It seems like they ship you out like a curated it's like, hey, here's a couple of like hand-picked vinyls with interesting artwork and
Yeah.
whatever.
So it says we curate. So it's kind of like you know how Spotify has all of these playlists that they promote of curated music. It's kind of like if you were to have that service, but for vinyl. It says we curate songs we absolutely love. We find the best new music, spanning indie rock, electronic jams, and more, and we press our favorites on beautiful colored vinyl. So you kind of get these curated playlists.
It's like a vinyl playlist
format.
I guess that is kind of interesting.
Kind of cool. It goes for
it's $30
for
a month.
Monthly membership, $30 a month, which that's like pricey, but the vinyls also look really nice.
Yeah, like you're kind of buying a little bit of like an art piece. Right?
Yeah, I think if you were really into music, if you're really into vinyl, this seems fine. I personally am not. It sounds like Scott really isn't either, but I like this concept.
It's just a fascinating medium to me because it like it's so tethered to a certain indie lifestyle. It seems like vinyl people are vinyl people, you know, and so it's like that one thing is like keeping that thing alive. I don't know. I think it's interesting. I'm not somebody who cares a lot about fidelity when it comes to music. You know, all these services like, oh, but this is lossless. I'm like, I listen to music on my Google Home speaker. I'm like, this is fine. Yeah. You know. So anyway, that's vinylmoon.co. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, $30 a month. Give it a look. Vinylmoon.co. Scott, my next one is Movez. Click this one. Movez.co. Thieves. That's Muvez.co. Scott, I am like really close to potentially buying this. So I'm curious if you're going to convince me or unconvince me.
What is
Movez
this?
Are kind of like hybrid slippers that you step into. So you get like an insole part and a, outsole piece. Yeah, it's like weatherproof. You take your little insole that you can wear around the house, and then you step into this weatherproof portion to like go to the store or whatever. It's $100, so they're not like cheap shoes, but they're not, I think, egregiously expensive shoes. Do you think they look horrible? What do you?
No, I mean, the closest comparison to mine is like a water sock, like a water shoe. You know,
that does not make me feel better about it at all.
Like that's like at least the slipper part. That's like the closest thing it kind of looks like, but it doesn't look bad. Like it looks definitely like unique. It doesn't look like a traditional slipper. Mm-hmm. I think maybe if you got one of the all black one, actually, that's part of the problem.
I hate all black shoes.
Yeah, so I think the all black looks a little bit maybe too much more like that. But I think if you got a two-tone one.
I can't decide. I think it's a fun concept.
It is. I really like the concept. Actually, the white ones I think look sweet.
I can't decide.
Yeah, it's tough.
Outsole.
I mean, you'd have to be in a routine where like your shoes were always in the same spot. Like that's one thing that sucks about. Or it would be hard for me is that like my shoes will be over here and sometimes they're in the front door, sometimes there's a garage, and I could see myself being like, where are my soles at? And like, screw it. You know,
you'd always kick your soles off in the like entryway.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that like sometimes I kick them off. Sometimes I kick them off in the front door, but then, you know.
That just infuriates me. That's not how we run things in my house. I think I'm going to buy a pair. I'm pretty set on this. I will come back to the podcast with my thoughts. Well, I will also say I'm like kind of a footwear snob. Like I think I mentioned this. Like I have a billion pairs of shoes, I really shouldn't buy another pair.
Didn't you?
Yes, I bought a weird pair of.
What was that?
Are like extremely loyal listeners because this was a good idea, bad idea like a billion shows ago that wasn't even talked about after that, I think. Or maybe it was once. But I have bought a pair of shoes. I will put it in the description if I can find where I bought them from. A pair of slippers that are essentially like really soft slipper type material, but then you can pull the heel back. So you can wear them as a slipper that you just like crush down the heel, or you can pull the heel back and have a shoe.
Right.
And they were just like too hot and too low quality. They're definitely at my house somewhere. I could definitely find them. somewhere in like my just sea of shoes that's like getting out of control. This looks like that, but better.
Yeah,
Events.
I think the price is right actually because it is kind of a it's got a moving part kind of.
When they step into it, like, I just think it's the sexiest thing in the world. It's so awesome.
Well, do you know what color you're gonna get?
I'm thinking I'm gonna do. I don't know. I don't like the red color. It's too red. Probably the gray. And I hate all black shoes.
The gray with the white soles.
Yep.
Stone gray.
Stone
cool.
gray.
Well, I'll touch on this last one here before we move on. I won't touch on the first part of. There's a story behind this.
Okay.
Only because it has to do with crypto. It's a part of my life right now, Andre. I'm sorry.
I know.
So I stumbled upon this crypto called Unlock, and basically it's kind of like a paywall that you can just like put an unlock thing, like you'd put on a Slack or a Discord to make it like a private entry to something or like a WordPress. But the idea is that like when you buy access, you're buying an NFT that you could like give to somebody else. You could like give access to people or whatever. Anyway, I was like, that's like kind of an interesting concept. So I was like, I hopped in their Discord and I was like chatting with them, whatever. And I said, oh, this would be interesting to do like private concerts with like an unlocked paywall. You know, you have like an exclusive thing. And somebody was like, oh, you should check out Beam. We're doing something kind of like that. And so I went to watchbeam.com, and this is not really what I thought it would be, but I thought it was really interesting. And it says, watch movies and documentaries together, create your own live event. And so it looks like it's a service where you have, you would pick a movie or something, and then like almost like a Zoom call, you'd have like 5 people at the bottom, and then like a chat on the side, and like you would watch something together in a Zoom conference type setting, but just a little more like software looking, I guess. I don't know. I thought it was like interesting. Do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I actually really like this. I like the kind of democratization of like setting up and selling content.
Yeah.
I'm not so interested in like the like let's all get together and watch a documentary, but the idea of using a service like Beam to host live events and then gateway them,
yeah,
I think really interesting.
Yeah, like it's just, it's this way to be like, oh, we're gonna, you want to watch, some private content with us, a group of
or like I think I'm in a bunch of these like tech communities with some like really great influential people, like using a service like this to sell like seminars or like classroom type content would be really, really interesting to me. I think this is a really slick website for sure. Like if I was going to trust an app to be really good at delivering kind of live event services.
Yeah.
And I think this is actually a really cool product.
This is sub-second film sync among all participants.
Which is perfect. That's like really, really strong. Cool.
Anyway,
Watch
Beam.
BEM.com. Watch Beam.
BEEM, not BEAM.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
I like it. Definitely interesting. What does it have to do with crypto, really? I'm confused how this all came back to crypto.
You can make so Unlock is the name of the crypto. There's somebody in that Discord channel who is building this, and I think Unlock as part of the paywall, like you can log in with a crypto wallet and like use that to pay for access or to gate access.
But you don't have to pay with crypto.
I don't think so, but I think it's an option.
I would hope not.
Yeah.
That you have to, at least. Otherwise, you're just limiting your market share.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if it was mandatory. But I mean, for some people, it's like, hey, you want to be part of this certain type of thing.
Yeah.
This is the cost.
Should we start creating events on Beam?
Maybe.
We could do a live podcast on Beam.
Live business idea podcast every other week.
As often as we can get our act together.
Exactly. All right, Elijah, let's move on to the main event here. I've got a workshop. You got a workshop. You want to go first?
Sure. So I think this is like actually a pretty developed idea.
Yeah, sorry.
But
Yours is-
it's technically a big idea, but I think you can help me workshop it. I messaged a bunch of our friends and pitched them the concept in Discord today, which is kind of my home base for chat, and just said, here's my idea. Do you have any kind of gravy to add? Like some extra things. And a lot of people had responses there, so we'll see what you have. And then I also do have a pretty good workshop that we can talk about as well. So Scott, I'm going to try to give you a leading question.
Love it. I love a good leading question. You know that.
I know. That's like almost the theme of the show is leading questions, the podcast. So if you don't have an answer, then maybe you just lie and make one up.
Love it.
But when was the last time that you tried to learn a new skill?
Last
But
time
maybe think like more like classroom type skills.
Got it. Last time I tried to learn a new classroom type skill, like something I would have to go to class to like, oh, now I know how to.
Yeah, or just like you'd have to watch like, I don't know, 5 hours of YouTube content or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I know that, and I guess maybe I'll speak for my wife because she has been doing like she has become a green thumb lately, and learning how to plant, how to trim, prune, what soils to use, which plants work well in Utah. I mean, she's been investing a lot of mental fortitude in this over the last several months. Enough that she could be doing it in the classroom for sure. I think she spends a lot of time on blogs and in little.
Yeah, I like this a lot. Although Joy is like 50% of the demographic that I'll talk about. But I'll talk about me. So it's like I'm trying to learn. I'm always interested in development. My career is kind of like 50% analysis, 50% kind of like technical dev type skills. So I've been dabbling and like learning a couple of different like more hard engineering type skills. And what's challenging for me is like I'm a gamer, I love to game, and very often it's like one monitor I have like League of Legends or the X game, and then the other monitor I'll have like a YouTube playlist of some guy talking through a development concept or developing something. And
when
I'm
you are
always
trying to build a Discord bot, what you need to do, go over to SQL here.
Yes, exactly.
It's almost always a foreign guy.
Right? And it's what's annoying about it for me is it's like I want to make my time productive. It's like I'll hop over here on my second monitor when I'm in a loading screen or when we're between games. I'm trying to balance things. And then over this last weekend, me and my friends got back into a game that is still very popular, but has definitely fallen a little bit in popularity, which is Among Us. For thieves that have not played Among Us or ever, or maybe not in a long time, Among Us, the concept is you and your friends are all in a game together, and one of you is the imposter that's going to go around and kill all the other people.
It's a lot. It's a lot like Mafia. If you've ever played.
Yeah, if you haven't played Among Us, you have definitely played a game in the real life setting like Among Us. So the imposter has to kill everybody or win the game before the good guys like finish all of the different tasks throughout the ship. And I was thinking, we were playing this game, and like what's kind of annoying is when you're in the crewmate or the not imposter position, your goal is basically like to do chores for 20 minutes, right? It's like connect point A to point B, like it's all these very basic, like simple tasks. So I'm playing this game and I'm like, wouldn't it be interesting if these like stupid chores that I have to do to play this game were actually like productive in some way for me, right? Because I have to do them anyway. It's part of the game no matter what. They're very simple, but like what if they were actually somehow like useful? So when I'm like playing the crew position, I'm not just like kind of spinning my wheels, like connect the red wire to the red wire, connect the blue wire to the blue wire. Like this is all kind of pointless. So I was thinking, what if I could like take my Quizlet flashcards or Quizlet material, like drop the URL into my game of Among Us, and then when I was doing these tasks, it was instead of like these goofy point A to point B kind of technology, it was like quizzing me on content for my class, or what if it was like testing, some other concept, or instead of kind of having Among Us tasks, you're actually using it to gamify learning content.
Yeah.
Thinking like that's a really good idea. And then I was thinking, is there like an API for Quizlet? And of course there is. And what I like about Quizlet, again, for thieves that maybe aren't aware, is like just a very popular education site for flashcards and study guide type content.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the go-to for everything. Like you can search basically any concept and then Quizlet after and get hundreds and hundreds of flashcard sets. So I'm thinking, like, what if Among Us, or a game like Among Us, I should say, had the same concept, but we were making the tasks portion a like gamified education portion. And then what if then the goal of a game like Among Us was to kind of replace Kahoot, which is a popular kind of gamified, kind of like Jeopardy style.
Trivia, Jeopardy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which is like super popular, like very, very common in schools and classrooms. And you could take this game that's like quite fun, right? Very engaging game, and then integrate some actual like useful material in the downtime portion of such a game.
Because it's kind of like, not the exact same, but I know they've kind of made an education version of Minecraft.
Have they?
Well, it's like not very extensive, but I think you can learn like coding basics maybe in Minecraft.
But definitely, like, there's been a lot of attempts to make Minecraft educational or to be used in an educational setting.
Right.
So yeah, that's basically the concept of the idea. It's like, what if you could inject into a game like Among Us a way to make the downtime portion or the not so like educational portion into like consistent gamified education and learning material. So
I think this is a great idea. First off, I think about this a lot, and I was actually thinking of this not that long ago, which is one of the problems with educational games is that they are education game. They're educational first and game second. Mm-hmm. And I think
and this is like the total opposite, right? It's like there's a game first, and then education is like almost the mod on top of it.
Yeah, so like I think of a game like Sea of Thieves. It's another type of game where, in some sense, it's a sandbox game where you're kind of just like futzing around with your friends and sailing on the high seas. But a lot of it is like, you're going from point A to point B across an ocean, and you're like, I got to set the sails a little bit here, and like we kind of just got to wait for a while till we get there. Every once in a while you might check something, but like it's a lot of time traveling. And there are games like this, Red Dead Redemption is a game like that, where you have a lot of time where you're like just kind of in transit. And they will pepper in story bits in there to like make the world bigger or whatever. But I think you very easily could take a AAA studio, or whatever. And especially if you went it through the lens of giving it a government subsidy, you're saying, hey, we want you to make this great game. And instead of trying to sell it to consumers and get that markup, instead you want to sell it to all these education portals, and it's a different player, right? But it needs to be a fun game, or it needs to be a version of a game that people already like, a game like Among Us or whatever. Another big thing that I think is like, especially with what you're talking about, is incorporating something like Duolingo in language learning. Because that is something that's like, Duolingo proves that model, which is just like, if you just go in every day and like learn some vocab, you eventually will get it. You can learn a second language, and the value of like somebody coming out of a gaming experience and being bilingual, is huge, right? So much of the, the big irony with games, it's like people, you'll dump in hours into games, because they're built to be fun and addictive, whatever.
And think nothing of it.
Compared
to hours of Duolingo would be like unthinkable.
Right. And when you think about, there's some games, Twitch shooters or whatever, where you're like, you're doing this thing that's like really technical, and but a lot of games aren't that.
Yeah, but like even for like Twitch shooters, it's like, what if all it did was like a single Duolingo question every time you died,
Right.
right? And what if it was not? I mean, it doesn't even have to be mandatory. It's like, what if I'm just like a guy and I just want to feel like 10% less guilt for playing 2 hours of a game? And it's like, well, actually, I learned a little bit. I have some actual productive element that's also part of this. The other thing it makes me think of is there was an idea that I had on the podcast. I don't know however many months ago, but it was like because I got a elliptical for my desk, and it was like, what if when I used this elliptical, it made like I earned time. Points. Yeah, I earned time on YouTube or earned time on Twitter or something like that. And it's kind of like same concept. It's like, what if you could just pepper in a little bit of learning between all the goofing off you do on the computer, and then you just feel that much better for the time you're spending, and it is that much better.
Yeah. No, totally. I think that idea of I'm sinking a bunch of time into this thing, which is like it can be kind of mindless, and especially in games like battle royale games where on one side of the fence it's heavy action and then like not a lot of action for a while and then like kind of interspersed. So like in between the tasks, so to speak, could be educational. But then when you die, especially if you're playing with friends, a lot of the time you're doing nothing. You're just sitting there.
Exactly.
And so if by answering questions and doing research and filling in blanks and whatever, the one game that just came to my mind. Did you ever play the Super NES game Mario is Missing?
No, I've never even heard of this.
You should watch a little YouTube clip.
Mario is Missing.
So the basic idea is that it's an old, Super NES era, right? And it's an educational game where basically you Bowser's gone and stolen like 8 artifacts throughout time, and one of them is like a sheet from Mozart, and one of them is I can't even think now, like a hammer from something or whatever. Anyways, you have to go into a time machine, go back in time, basically talk to everybody there, and then the only way you can get out of that zone is like you have to fill in, basically like fill in the blank of like,
yes,
in what year did this happen? Well, this guy just told you that, so you got to go find the guy who's like, oh, I remember in the 15th century when Caesar Augustus, whatever.
Just scrubbed through a clip of it. And Scott's like not doing this interesting concept enough justice in that it's completely real. It's based on completely real history.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So, but it's kind of just layered on top of this, like Mario graphics and then Mario characters. Like Luigi is riding Yoshi around and talking to real historical figures in a real historical setting.
Yeah, like you go to
like
Michelangelo, and I think you, it's like you give him his paintbrush back or something or whatever.
Yeah. Very, very interesting.
Anyway, like, and that's like a super old game, but it stuck with me. I remember that game.
Yeah, it's funny.
And anyway, but this idea of sourcing information and yeah, I like the idea of a game where like it gives you like a slight advantage if you put in the work to like answer a kind of I think actually like mathematics is something where you can that's something that can scale really easily, which is just like, hey, do these simple math problems, and they just get like harder.
And languages are
harder and harder and harder, and it's like, I don't know how to do this, and it's like, well, this is how, and so it's like you have 5 minutes or whatever to get like one simple problem, but now it's like, oh, I kind of understand algebra now, or like these concepts that. Anyway, I think it's a really good idea, and I think if you could figure out, I honestly believe that both businesses and governments would subsidize it to a degree, like there's a way where you take some AAA developers and say, hey, we want to do this, and it's gonna, we're gonna teach macroeconomics, we're gonna teach all these other things. Yeah,
good idea.
It's a good idea. My idea is a very different than your idea, Andre. Do you have a name, by the way?
No.
I guess it's kind of like a broad.
Edu version.
Okay, so I saw a maybe it was a Instagram. No, what was it? It was like a news clip or something like that.
Okay.
Oh no, it was like one of those meme that's like, did you know over here they have this thing? Like, how cool is that, or whatever.
Okay.
Like there's
Following the star?
there's a statue in Milan that's 60 feet tall or whatever. It's like,
Sure.
whatever. So what it was basically somebody had put this big circular portal looking thing that was like a TV screen, and they put it in like Spain, I think, and they put another one somewhere else in the world, and I can't remember where. It escapes me. And they basically were just like two live streams on like street corners at two different parts of the world.
Yeah.
And it was just like you could walk up and like, oh, that's Tokyo. Oh, interesting. And somebody could come up and like say hi or whatever. And I'm sure there was some, statement or whatever. Maybe it's just an artistic thing. Anyway, it got me thinking. You know those like pop-up dessert museums?
Yes.
Or like there's like a breakfast one, I think, and they're all just like you pay $20 and it's like this like really artistic, cool thing, right? So what if there was a pop-up museum type thing like that, and it was based around this portal concept, where there was basically you built a bunch of these all around the world, and there were portals to like every major country, or like a lot of several major countries, and so like all it really was like, hey, let's go, and like there's a street corner in Tokyo, and there's a street corner in Dubai, and there's a street corner and like you could just go and like kind of have a conversation, and like you get a glimpse into like what's going on around the globe, and like talk to somebody, friendly people who are like doing the same thing as you, which is just like, oh, hi, who are you, like and maybe it has like some language prompts or whatever, like you could say hi to somebody or whatever. Just as like a fun experience. It's like go kind of visit the world remotely, but in a little bit more visceral way. Anyway, that's like most of the idea, but like, do you think something like that would work?
Yeah, I think it fits perfectly into the pop-up museum concept. It's like exactly the same use case where it's like museum idea. It's experimental. It's trying something that's never been done before. It's at the like $20 ticket price, and it's unique and different, and it's just like portals into different countries and different places. I think it would be awesome. And I think that with the power of like translation technology, there's a ton of apps now that can live translate. Yeah, so it would be really cool to, through this like portal app, to be able to talk to somebody in a different language.
Yeah.
And like kind of have live conversations, and you could set it up in such a way in this pop-up museum where there's like other cultural artifacts type things, and like they're learning about your culture at the same time that you're learning about theirs. And you can hold up like, I don't know, like some Japanese treat and say like, do you have this there? And they say, yes, it's really good. And I don't know. There's a lot of
here's some kimchi. Try this thing.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And it's like almost like for like maybe 4 or 5 minutes in time, like you're in the same place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, or like you're sharing. Yeah, I don't know. Like even like just treats is a really interesting concept, because treats and snacks across different countries and different places are like so unique, and things that are extremely common here that everybody knows are completely foreign and different somewhere else. And it's like in this pop-up museum experience, it's like there's a treat and you hold it up and you say like, should I try this? And they say, no, that's not good. You should try that. I don't know. For some reason, that just like sticks with me as something that would be easy to provide on both ends, and that everybody would have something to say about. But it could be that. It could be 100 other types of objects and things and conversation starter type things to like feel culturally connected. It's a really cool idea.
Yeah, I just think about especially the different lenses of, and you could do it lots of different ways, obviously, but having a rural and a metropolitan view into everywhere, it's just like, oh, when I thought of Australia, or when I thought of New Zealand, I had a different, and it's like, oh, I guess it's like, oh, what do you do? Like, oh, I'm a this or whatever. And then, and vice versa. Right. And I think you set up a dozen of these around the world, and like, I don't know, like, I think it'd be kind of
you
fun.
go room from room, and you're in
you room right now, you're in
Japan and China and England.
Exactly.
It's a good idea.
It'd be fun, right? I don't know how you would. I mean, like, there's some logistical stuff where you'd have to figure out.
Yeah. I mean, I would want to talk to, like I said, I think it's such a good. What's cool is the technology for sure exists.
Yeah.
Like the technology piece I actually think is the easiest part. And I think you could get with these pop-up museum people, of which there are dozens now,
Yeah.
and say, like, how does this work? Like, how do you get the space? How do you do ticket sales? And figure something out. It would not be easy, but it's also not unachievable.
Yeah. I mean, kind of around the world. Yeah. Portals. Yeah. I like the idea of like, there's a handful of, sweets.
Mhm.
Yeah. Even something like
Yeah.
chocolate around the world, we're just like, there's probably chocolate or something
Yeah.
like chocolate everywhere.
Easily, like a concept all on its own is just chocolate, right? And
Yeah.
that's fine.
And maybe if you wanted to extend the longevity of this, if you wanted to turn it to something that's semi-permanent, I guess, is you do a different thing every month where it's like foods and then music and then dance, and whatever. And yeah, I think the concept of it being live is kind of paramount.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you can always watch
the whole thing is dumb if it's not live. Then it's a YouTube video.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think it's really workable.
Portals. Andre, I think that's gonna do it for the episode.
I have a bunch of, maybe we save these for next week. It sounds like we probably do. But I have a bunch of mailbag ideas.
Ideas
that we
from
can-
listeners or
Yeah, from listeners or from our friends or also listeners. But we could save them.
yeah,
can do a
let's
mailbag
do one.
episode.
How about one teaser?
Well, the one that I'm most interested in is from Patrick. And he says, what about a subscription shirt service? They send you like 10 shirts a month. Idea is you wear them each once and then send them back to be recycled. I'm imagining they're all just basic, affordable tees that go with any fit. The value is you never have to worry about picking out a shirt half the month. In my case, I would just order 5 plain white tees and 5 plain black tees, wear them each one time, and send them back. He says, I thought of this, and looking back, first of all, I had messaged him like this morning and said, hey, do you have any ideas for the show? And he was like, oh, I had a really good idea. And then he thought about it all day. And then he said, I just thought of it. Looking back, it seems like it might be a bad idea.
Well, I'm trying to think of how I could, because it's like, well, so do you just end up with a huge warehouse of used shirts?
I think I like it more maybe as a, like, find your perfect tee service where they send you 10 shirts and they're like, first of all, we're going to like just kit you out with shirts for a whole month. And then the idea is that you pick one and then you order like 20 more from us.
Sure.
And then the 9 that you send back, they just wash and send out to other people for them to try their 10 perfect shirts.
So it's a little more like up level.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. Which up level was an idea that I had where you take like the Warby Parker model of like, we send you 5 pairs of glasses, you pick the one you want and keep it, but we apply it to everything. And essentially what I'm saying is we send you 10 shirts, you wear them all once, you keep the one you like, and you order more from us, you send the other 9 back because you didn't love them.
I will say this. I don't know. Was it you who was dogging on Built t-shirts?
Yes.
So,
Although I don't want to put that on the podcast. I like Built t-shirts. I just think that only a certain kind of person wears Built t-shirts.
sure.
That's all.
I agree.
I'm sure there are Built t-shirt listeners. I love you. I love you guys. I love Built shirts. I just think it's funny that only a certain type of person wears them. That's all.
Yes, there's a subculture, I'm sure. Well, I have recently kind of been converted to Built shirts. And mainly it's because I feel like I have a longer torso and like all my large shirts like shrink, get kind of in that uncomfortable zone.
Sure.
And I'm like a believer, man. They are comfortable and they're thick and I do think there's like an excessiveness that exists in shirts like that, like especially like really low drop cut ones.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, anyway, I didn't know that I'd like these shirts so much. Not the one I'm wearing.
Yeah, I was gonna say all this Built talk, but he's not wearing a Built shirt now.
Yeah, I was wearing it all day, and then I took a bath with my kids, and so.
Sure.
Anyway,
Anyway, shout out to Built Tees.
Shout out to Built Tees. Well, no, had I gotten a service like this, was like, hey, here are like 5 different, because there's like a fair amount of like kinds of t-shirts that are like, hey, like here are collar types, and there's thickness, and there's cotton poly, and
people have like such different preferences.
Yeah.
You know, like I just bought 2 new t-shirts from Banana Republic, and they're like the best t-shirts ever. But it's like just this certain blend, it's this certain length, it's a certain fit. And until you try a shirt like that on, like you're not going to know that it's the perfect t-shirt for you. So there's room to solve problems like that. There really is.
There is. I'm into it. I was going to say the other way you would spin an idea like that is you wouldn't do shirts. You'd do something like, well, and maybe this is dumb, but it's something like jackets with the purpose of like, or even jeans where it's like you're trying to break them in. You know, and so it's like they're broken in clothing.
Yeah. So then, like by cycling them through.
Yeah, by cycling them through, you know, I don't know. Maybe that's unsanitary.
You would break them in. You would certainly break them in. I don't find that unsanitary. Like I don't find going to the thrift store unsanitary.
No, I guess it's the same thing as that, huh?
Yeah, it's even better because it's like this company has a brand. They're like, yeah, we clean it, we sanitize it, we do all this stuff. Where the thrift store, you're kind of just like trusting that they washed it.
Yeah, you're basically saying like, if you help us break in these clothes naturally, because by doing it natural, it is.
Yeah.
It's that right. Because I mean,
if you commit to doing 20 squats a day in these jeans, we'll give you a free pair of jeans.
Yeah, then you get one, right? Like, hey, you break one in, you get one, or something like that.
Sure.
Maybe there's some ratio there.
It works really well for jeans.
Yeah.
And maybe even like jackets and flannels.
Yeah,
like a broken in, like well-worn flannel is.
No, exactly. A well-worn flannel is like, ooh.
It's so good.
It's money. Exactly. A stiff flannel, nothing worse than
it takes, to do it myself, it takes like a year. At least.
Exactly.
At least a year. Something to think about. There's a problem there. Thieves, think on it.
Well, that's going to do for the episode. Andre and Thieves, to get in touch with us on the show, go stealthisidea.com. idea@stealthisidea.com is our email. Go Steal This Idea podcast on Instagram, at Go Steal This Idea on Twitter.
Find Scott and myself individually at Scott the Amazing and at Andre Wash 0.
I wish that you tweeted a little bit more, but
I tweeted last night and I don't even think you liked it.
You know what?
Ooh. Yikes.
Yeah. So I have a couple alternative Twitter accounts, and I've discovered.
Okay.
Well, so this is why. So
I have this other one that I used to bully Andre on Twitter. That's all the mean.
Well, like I have the one for like this. It's like a separate account, and then I have one for like other business ideas that we haven't brought to fruition. And I recently made one for like all of my crypto interests, so I can just like log into that, and so it's like not, because that whole world is like, it's a lot. Anyway, there's one particular one I've logged into where I basically only follow like a handful of friends, and that's it. And I logged in there because I get a notification every once in a while, and it's like, oh, I like see all these tweets that I just like don't ever see, because it's like I'm only following 6 people or whatever.
I like you so much, Scott, that I have Twitter notifications on for you.
I don't think
I get a push. No, when you tweet, I get a push notification.
I don't think I. Is there? Can you?
It's intense.
Can you set it up for everyone, or is it like an all or nothing? Or you?
No, you can set it up just one at a time. So if I go to your profile and I click the bell icon, I can turn on or off notifications.
I should turn off notifications. I should turn on for you.
I don't tweet that much. Like, well, exactly. I'll let you know if I tweet. You can
I see. Yeah, I've never done that before.
Well, there you go. That's a little tip for thieves: is turn on the bell icon for people that you truly want to have a positive relationship with.
Exactly.
Other than that, I think that's a show.
Send us some mailbag. We'd love to hear your ideas, discuss them. Thieves, we love you. We appreciate you. And we'll catch you in the next one.
Bye.
That's about as good as you're going to get, Thieves.
Excellent.
Use Scipio, the #1 engagement tool for sales teams that want more responses, appointments, and conversations. Message your leads and customers where they are, on their phone. I'm not talking about phone calls. We're talking about true one-to-one texting. Use the code STEAL at Scipio.com for 2 free licenses. Use the code STEAL at Scipio.com for 2 free licenses. See you later, thieves.